So let's examine the use of columns. Let's have a look firstly at using the type tool. We select the type tool from the toolbar, and it's important to note that you cannot just click as you do in Adobe Photoshop or in Adobe Illustrator to create text. We'll take the type tool and we'll click and drag out a text frame over the entire column, and we'll just use some dummy text or placeholder text right now. We simply right click and select Fill with Placeholder Text. We can now see that the text is neatly positioned within the column. This will also lead to giving your text or your photograph a center of interest, a center of importance. It's not like some other word processing packages where you just get text from edge to edge of your page. This is beautiful text layout. What you will find in a lot of word processing packages is your text is squeezed from A4 to A4 right to the edge. It makes your text extremely difficult to use. It makes it extremely cramped. And that is the main reason that we work within a column. The same is true if we're going to use a 3-column layout like we just created in the last lecture, where we will create 3 columns of our text. Fill with placeholder text. So fill with placeholder text can also be used, very importantly, if you're awaiting final content from your client. You still want to mock up your document, but you don't have final copy yet. So we then don't have to wait around for content. We can now go about designing the document with dummy text and replace it with the copy from the client when it becomes available. The distance between the columns is called the gutter. Let's go and have a look at what that is. When we created a new document, the default is 4,233 millimeters. We're now able to change that should you wish to input a different number. You're also able to input the different margins around the column. The default is 12,7 millimeters. Here's your 12,7 millimeters between the black and the pink. Let's go and have a look at creating a different document format. Let's go and click on New File. Let's say, for example, we don't want to use the print preset. Let's say we want to use web or mobile. This is designing for a website, for a web banner, or mobile. We have options here, the preset options that are given to us. iPhone 10, iPhone 6, 7, or 8. And all these different dimensions. We can still go and view further presets, and let's say we would like to select for an iPad Retina. We click on that. We will now notice that facing pages is naturally turned off. How many pages do we want? We'd like 12 pages. We're only going to use 1 column for this. The document is set in pixels, and that is why all our presets are in pixels, but facing pages is turned off. And this is what I mentioned a little bit earlier. We do not know the user experience. Are they going to navigate from page 1 to page 2 or from page 2 to page 8? So you cannot have facing pages in a web document. You will also notice that there is no bleed present because you don't need bleed when you're doing a web or a mobile app document. When we choose this option for web or mobile, the document color mode is set to RGB, and the raster effects of this document are at 72 pixels per inch.